In this video, we shall look the river network of South India. As we have already covered in the previous video, the river network of Northern India, the Indus River, the Ganga River, and the Brahmaputra River. In this video, we shall mainly focus on peninsular rivers like Narmada, Tapti, Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri, and Mahanadi. First of all, we see the location of these rivers in map. Look this river like Narmada, the top one, then the Tapti river, Godavari, the Krishna, Kaveri, and the Mahanadi. Now we move to the Indian map. See in this map the different locations of the river network in India. These are the major rivers. In northern part we have already covered the Indus River, which is mainly flows in the present Pakistan. The second river is Ganga River in the northern part of India, and this third river is the Brahmaputra River, which also moves major part outside India, and it enters in India from Arunachal Pradesh. In this video, we shall focus on the Narmada, the river moving from central to western Ghat, and the Tapti. These are the two unique river which moves from east to west direction. Then we move and cover this Godavari river, then Krishna, Mahanadi here in the near the Chilka lake, and the last river is the Kaveri river. This is the route of Narmada river. It originates from the Amarkantak and moves towards the western Ghat from MP, Madhya Pradesh to Gujarat, and it enters into this Arabian Sea. Look in this map the different places it goes. From here in Jabalpur, then it moves and then enters into Gujarat. So this river originates from the Amarkantak hills in Madhya Pradesh. It flows towards the west in the Reef Valley formed due to faulting. These valleys are there. These valleys were formed due to faulting. On its way to the sea, the Narmada creates many picturesque locations like Dhuandhar, the marble rocks near the Jabalpur. Narmada flows through the deep gorge, and Dhuandhar Falls, where the river plunges over steep rocks, are some notable locations in the side of these rivers. All the tributaries of Narmada are very short, and most of these join main stream at right angles. The Narmada basin covers part of Madhya Pradesh here and Gujarat, and it is more or less a straight movement of this river from Madhya Pradesh to Gujarat and then in the Sea of Arabian Sea. So this river having a basin area covers from the Madhya Pradesh region and Gujarat region, and later it also enters into the sea. Second river which moves from east to west direction is Tapti river. This is the location of Tapti river down south to from the Narmada river. From here central it originates from here Satpura range and in the Batul district, and moves parallel to the Narmada river and moves towards the Gujarat and the sea. Let we see its basin. This is a Tapti river basin. It covers the lower part of the Satpura range, and this is the basin of Tapti river. It has a high rift valley parallel to the Narmada, but it is much shorter in length. Its basins cover parts of Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, and some area of Maharashtra. The coastal plains between the Western Ghat and the Arabian Sea are very narrow. Hence, the coastal region are short. The main west flowing rivers are Sabarmati, Mahi, Periyar, and these are the some other rivers which also moving west direction along with this Tapti and Narmada river. Further down to the Tapti river, first is this Narmada river, then Tapti river, and further down is the Godavari river. This Godavari river is the largest peninsular river. It rises from the slope of the Western Ghats in the Nasik district of Maharashtra. Its length is about 1500 kilometers. It drains into the Bay of Bengal. Its drainage basin is also the largest among the peninsular rivers. The basin covers of Maharashtra, Odisha, Andhra Pradesh. The Godavari is joined by a number of tributaries from its movement from Nasik to the Bay of Bengal, like Pranhita, Munjra, Vanganga, and Panganga. These are the tributary rivers which also combines with this river from its course from here to this direction. It is the longest river in the peninsular region of India, so it is also known as a Dakshin Ganga. This river is also known as Dakshin Ganga because of its length and area it covers from the Nasik to here through the Andhra Pradesh. Here it goes to the Bay of Bengal. In this due course, it has a great basin area like northern basin area, Doab area of Ganga. So it is also known as Dakshin Ganga. Next river is Mahanadi. It locates in the Chhattisgarh highland. It rises from the highlands of Chhattisgarh and it covers the region of Odisha, Maharashtra, Chhattisgarh, and Jharkhand. Look there in the map. This location. This is a Mahanadi, and many other tributaries also combines with this Mahanadi river. This is the different places where the Mahanadi moves and reaches the Bay of Bengal through Chilka Lake. So it flows through the Odisha to reach the Bay of Bengal, and it covers the length of almost 860 kilometers from its origin. It originates from the highlands of Chhattisgarh. Look, this is the area where it originates and moves towards the lake, Chilka Lake here, and it merge into the Bay of Bengal. Next river is the Krishna river. This is in the map. Look the location of this Krishna river. It moves in this way. In the second map, this is the route of Krishna river. From here, moves towards the east and enters into Bay of Bengal. This is the basin of Krishna river. This is the complete basin of Krishna river. Now we come to know that this comes out from the Mahabaleshwar. The Krishna river flows almost 1400 kilometers and reaches the Bay of Bengal in this route, Mahabaleshwaram to the Bay of Bengal. Tungabhadra, Koyan, Ghatprabha, the Musi, and Bhima are some of its tributaries in its course. It drains the basin shared by the Maharashtra state, Karnataka, and Andhra Pradesh. In this course, it covers the three states. It originates from near the Mahabaleshwara, and it crosses the three states from its due course, crosses the three. So the three states are Maharashtra, Karnataka, and Andhra Pradesh, and it reaches the Bay of Bengal. Next river is Kaveri. It rises in the Bhagirathi range of the West Ghat, and it reaches the Bay of Bengal in south of Cuddalore in Tamil Nadu. Total length its cover is 760 kilometers from here to here. Its main tributaries are Amravati, Bhavani, Hemavati, and Kabini. Its basin drains the part of Karnataka, Kerala, and Tamil Nadu. This is the basin area of river Kaveri. From its movement from the Mahabaleshwar to the Tamil Nadu here, it also combines to Bay of Bengal. Apart from these river networks of northern part and the peninsular part of India, we have many lakes, natural lakes, and some are man-made lakes, some are freshwater lakes, and some are salt lakes in India. Like, for example, see in this picture the locations of the different lakes. This is Gobind Sagar Lake, Bhagla Nangal Bandh, Gandhi Sagar, Gobind Vallabh Pant Sagar, Hirakund, Chilka is natural lake, Sambha Lake is here in Rajasthan. It's a salt water lake, and these are the other lakes in the southern part of India. This is the location of the Chilka Lake in Odisha. It is a freshwater lake near the Bay of Bengal, and another important lake is saltwater lake in Rajasthan. These are the two important lakes. Other lakes are the freshwater lakes, and most important lakes are lying in the northern part of India, and these lakes are freshwater lakes, and they are filled with water round the year. For example, look this Dal Lake in Kashmir, Wular Lake, another lake in Kashmir. This is the picture of Dal Lake. This is Dal Lake. This is the lake. It is inbound water from all the side. This is the pictures of the lakes. Look in this picture, some important lakes are there. Wular Lake in Kashmir, Dal Lake in Kashmir, Bhimtal Lake in Uttarakhand, Damdama Lake near Delhi. Here the Sambhar Lake is also here in Rajasthan, Pichola Lake, Upper Lake, and this Loktal Lake in the northeast region, Chilka Lake, Vemband Lake in south Kerala. These are some important lakes of India. Why these lakes are important? These lakes are very important for actually it regulates the flow of water, flow of river. Secondly, it prevents the flooding. Third, it is useful for hydel power. They moderate the climate of the surrounding areas and maintain the aquatic ecosystem nearby, and enhance the natural beauty and help the tourist and tourism to provides the recreational activities in this region. It also provides the natural resources essential for human activities and attract settlers. People used to settle nearby these areas due to water availability since ancient time. Useful for irrigation, navigation, hydropower generation, and particularly agricultural activities. And as we know, the India is a country of agriculture. People are mainly involved in the agriculture activities, so these lakes are important places for human settlements from ancient time. So in this video we have covered the peninsular rivers like This here in this diagram, this picture, we can see this rivers and the important lakes. This chapter is important for map work. For in the map work, you can fill these places. The question will be asked like, where is the Chilka Lake? So you have to fill in the map the places like Chilka Lake and Dal Lake, Vellore Lake, and the river system also. The rivers move like Narmada, Tapti, Krishna, Kaveri. All these things are important for map work. In the previous video, we have already covered the northern part of India rivers and their basins. So this lesson is over. I go through these lessons once again, and this lesson is particularly important for the map work. Thank you. See the slides to learn the different locations in the map.